You had 100,000 have when you were 16, 50,000 at the top, 50,000 at the back. For me to make you turn the clock back, I need to...
Dr. Raghu Reddy is a world-renowned hair restoration surgeon and hair transplant specialist.
Life as a young man is tough. If you are genetically susceptible, you start losing hair at a very early age. The stress, the lifestyle, lack of collagen, poor sleep, everything adds up.
When I was losing my hair, everyone was like, oh, that's because he's taken all the steroids.
I've seen men as young as maybe 19 with an onward 6th stage of loss. And their history was 6 months, 7 months of anabols and gone like that.
For people who are thinking about this, who are experiencing hair loss, is there a step-by-step procedure they should go through?
I think the key message is...
Now, before we jump into today's episode, I just want to mention that this podcast is brought to you by me and everything that I have built to help you guys level up. If you want to transform your physique, build muscle, lose body fat, build strength, then you have the Thirst app. This has everything inside that you could possibly need to get yourself in shape, to hold yourself accountable as well. I also have the Digital Playbook, which is a step-by-step guide to help you guys build a following, monetize the following, and also build a strong personal brand. This is everything which I have done over the past nearly 10 years to allow myself to live a life of financial freedom and also geographical freedom. I can basically do whatever I want. Life is good. And I also have my newsletter, which has been revamped, where I'll share exclusive podcast insights, my raw thoughts on business, fitness, and much, much more. So if you're interested about any of those, check out the description. You'll find the links to all of them. Now let's get cracking with the episode. Dr. Reddy, welcome to the show.
Pleasure, Mike. Pleasure. Long time, eh?
That's a good sign, though. It's been a long time.
Always a great sign.
Yeah, because if I'd been seeing you a lot, then that's probably a cause for concern, and I'd probably
Potentially I would have failed.
yeah. So for those people who don't know, I had a hair transplant in, I think it was March 2019. I think it was it was
2019.
I think it was 2019.
19.
Oh no, wait, maybe 18.
Maybe 18.
Yeah, 2018.
18,
Yeah. So obviously genetics pretty good apart from my hair. So that was fading away, and it came to the point where I was either going to shave it off or get a hair transplant procedure, and ended up doing it with you, and it was very successful.
Fantastic. So what was your thought process then when you were losing your hair, though?
Oh, well, the thing is, I think because of what I do and my job, I was on camera all the time. So not only photos, but video. So I could see myself from angles which, it wasn't straight on. So I was seeing like the back, the sides, and it was irritating me. Like I was always thinking about it. It was bothering me. And not only that, but when I was uploading my videos, people were very vocal about it. Everybody was saying like, oh, he's losing his hair, like he's balding. But because I think with somebody like me, people have been waiting so long to try and get me for something.
Young men are brutal, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. So it was just, it was on my mind for a while. But I got to the point where I was like, I need to address this. Either I need to shave it off or I need to go ahead and get the procedure done. And that's when you came into the picture.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So I think one thing I did notice was post-surgery, you did post a video.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a week after or something, or there was a journey? Did you post?
Yes.
The whole
Yeah.
journey?
Because this was the thing. I could have disappeared for a while,
Okay.
wearing hats,
Okay.
and then come back with this like new hairline.
Okay.
And then everybody would have asked questions, and it would have been pretty obvious, like, okay, he's had a hair transplant. So I thought, why not just document it so, people are going to get full transparency. And then as well, I think I just wanted to do it because when I was looking to try and find out more about the whole procedure and to see if there was anybody else who was dealing with the same things I was dealing with, there wasn't really much content out there. I couldn't find many people who had gone through the procedure and could give some advice on a lot of the basic things which people need to know.
Now, I must admit, I think I don't follow much YouTube, and a patient of mine a week after brought your video to me, and he said you inspired him.
Mm-hmm.
And then a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, nearly 20 young men turned up. I almost said, you know what, this guy could actually be a champion for bald men. And I think what actually the feedback was, man, he recovered so well. I mean, I did think that I do work on a lot of famous clients, and they disappear. They never comment. And I thought you'd probably be one of those clients who just, you know what, I've had it done. I'm happy now. I'll fizzle away. But I think you have inspired a lot of young men, by the way, to seek at least to seek help.
Yeah.
I think the logic is not everyone needs a transplant. Not everyone's suitable for a transplant. But when they are suitable, you got the right ingredients, the right surgeon, the right quality of hair, the results can be exceptional.
Yeah. Well, I think at the time it was almost like embarrassing for guys. Like they didn't want people to know, and they were like almost sort of shameful about it. And I was like, well, especially women, they get a lot of work done, plastic surgery, changes to their lips, their face, whatever.
And they celebrate the fact that
it's like normalized. But whereas for men, if they want to get anything done, it's all of a sudden it's like.
Why is that though?
I don't know. I think it's changing now. I think now, especially in the hair transplant world, it's like pretty normal.
Yeah.
I feel it's like it's very accepted.
You see a dichotomy. You see, I think here's my take on it. I think problem with our industry is super unregulated. Despite all the talk of bringing in regulation, a lot of the work in UK, Europe is done by non-medics. So, and then even done by medics, sometimes the risk is there's no formal training. I mean, we were never taught the whole 5-6 year journey as you go through surgical training to learn how to do hair transplants. A lot of it is self-taught. Some are competent, but you need to be highly conscientious to make sure, you know what, someone's put a lot of faith in me. I need to make sure I don't harm this person. And then again, the risk is, what I've seen is for someone like for example, a patient comes in, gets a successful transplant, they realize, hang on a second, there's a big gap in the market here. So I've got about 7 or 8 of my patients who've gone and set up clinics where they are the lead, and then they have non-medics running the show. It can work sometimes with the right hat textures, right characteristics, but a lot of the times it's a disaster.
Yeah.
So I think what we're seeing is a lot of young men. Again, the kind of clients that come to us are patients who had bad work. They want it fixed. Or patients who have such low risk appetite. They're like, you know what, I don't want to take a chance at all. Take your time, do your work. It doesn't matter how long it takes, but I need high caliber work.
Yeah.
So if there's a lot of bad work out there, and actually they think, you know what, it's not, they never question the competency of the person performing it. Just, you know what, the whole industry is a sham. I think that's where we were. I think now, you've raised a lot of awareness as to a lot of men come and say, you know what, I like the journey of what he went through. There's hardly any scarring there. It looks natural. And then we're seeing a lot of clients coming and saying 6-7 years later, he still looks the same.
Yeah.
Whereas if done poorly, they don't last.
Yeah.
So
well, that was my biggest concern, was like, if I'm going to do this, it's kind of like a one-shot thing. Like, I want to get it right. And, I'm going to be in front of the camera. There's going to be millions of people who are going to see me. So it needs to look good. And at the time, I remember it's quite the investment. Like, it's certainly not cheap. If you're going to do it with the best, and you were the best that I could find, I was like, okay, it's going to be worth it. But there's so many people still to this day, they're looking for the cheapest option, but they don't understand, you get what you pay for still.
It's education part, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think, again, it all comes down to I think 2 factors. You see, competence of the surgeon, and they need to be highly conscientious. They need to care.
Yeah.
And I think when you leave the entire work to non-medics, I've got some sympathy for them. I mean, they're probably doing 2-3 surgeries a day, incentivized on number of grafts they do, or number of surgeries they do. So they're just slamming them in.
Yeah.
And I reckon in a few years' time, we are seeing a lot now. In a few years' time, I think there'll be one of those things. It'll be one of those PPI scandals, or one of those things where people think, you know what, there's so much bad work out there. People are talking now, you see. I think that was never the case before. And a lot of young men are happy. I think even on Reddit and a lot of other forums, a lot of young men are journaling their journeys. And but again, the key thing is do your research. As you did, do your research. And besides, you were quite young, weren't you, when you came to see me?
Yeah, well, yeah, relatively young. I think I was 28 at the time.
You're 28, yeah. So I think the thought process I had was I need to make sure I preserve enough.
Yeah.
So that in the future, if you need something, imagine science doesn't progress, we need to go back in and take a few more out.
Yeah.
Whereas I think one mistake I see is that people don't care. We see patients where there's nothing left for the back.
Yes, like 3,000-4,000.
Exactly.
Grafts.
I'm sure you must have come across some of your cases as well.
Because when I speak to other people who've had it done, they tell me how many grafts they have done. I was like, that's like double what I had.
Exactly.
Like that seems excessive.
Exactly.
But as you said, it's you're planning for the future, and if there needs to be a second or a third, I guess it could be done.
Exactly. We all hope science progresses. There'll be better treatments, better surgical options, but I don't think exhausting donor is a great idea. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of older patients now in the 60s coming and seeking, you know what, I've done everything in my life. I've seen my son have it done. I've seen the value it's added to his life. I've seen his journey. I want to get it done. So it's become so much more acceptable because of the high caliber work and, of course, a lot of information as well. You see high quality information.
Well, since 2018-19, how has the science progressed since then?
I think on the surgical front, what we found out is the punches are slightly more forgiving. I think when I did your surgery, I had to manually twist, and there were only sharp punches. It's quite a technical thing where you have a graft. You need to make sure you take the entire graft out. And there's a small sweat gland, and there's tons of stem cells surrounding the graft. So if you preserve the entire graft, it stays and grows and functions like normal hair. But there's no visual aid, you see, to see what angle it goes in. So it's pure expertise, experience, and repetitive work. But now the punches are a bit more forgiving. So I think a bit more quicker, more efficient. Beyond that, I don't think technology has progressed as such in the surgical side, but definitely more awareness. I'm getting a lot of junior doctors from other practices coming and observing now, and we want science to progress. We want everyone to do well. But on the medical front, I think a few exciting things are happening. Again, promises, but nothing's been delivered yet. But I think there's always this talk of cloning. But I mean, I got into this industry 20 years ago. And 20 years ago, they said we're a few years away from cloning, but you're not there yet. I don't think we're there yet.
The idea behind the cloning, I imagine, would be you would try and find the best possible follicle, like the one with 4.
We need a spectrum of grafts.
What's the maximum you can get on one follicle?
So we need a spectrum of grafts. You see, I think some clients have, probably from what my team tells me, they've had some 8 or 9 had grafts in one unit. But we need a spectrum. We need singles for the hairline. Even when we clone, I think the logic is maybe take a few chunky ones, take a few finer ones, and then take a few singles, send it to a lab. And then...
and ideally, they clone it, and then you have an unlimited amount. And then you can just place that back in where it needs to be placed. Yeah, that would... That would be great.
That'd be a game changer.
But I mean, I guess they just didn't come anywhere near to that, or because I guess the hardest thing would be you try and clone it, but then is it going to survive?
The survival thing. Yeah, exactly. So I think there was a lab in Japan that did manage to clone some cells, dermal papillary cells, but I don't think the outcomes were great in the clinical setting.
Yeah, and I guess for people listening who don't really understand how it works, like you can't take somebody else's hair and put it onto your scalp because it will treat it as like a foreign
body.
Even
your identical twin.
Yeah. Really?
It's yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
For some unknown reason, I think even identical twin, the body says no, that doesn't belong here.
Okay. Interesting. So, can we talk a little bit about what actually causes the hair loss in the first place? Because I imagine there'll be two major things from what I would assume. It's the genetics and also lifestyle.
You're right.
Yeah.
Genetics, let's put it this way. If you are genetically susceptible, you start losing hair at a very early age. I think, let's be honest, I mean, I was talking to your colleague as I was coming up the left. Life as a young man is tough.
Yes. Yeah. The 20s.
It's funny. For a bloke, I think 20s is a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of the stress, the acid-free radical buildup. And imagine if the genetics are there, then of course you're bound to lose hair aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we also see is men who lose hair predominantly have high levels of dihydrotestosterone in the scalp. It's a hormone that makes men seek partners. And then natural aging process. As we age, a lot of factors, probably the stress, the lifestyle, lack of collagen, poor sleep, everything adds up, and then you see a lot of men losing hair well into the 40s naturally.
Mm-hmm. Is there any way to predict whether or not you will lose hair? Because there was a few people that would say, oh, well, it's all on your mother's side. So if all the males on the mother's side of the family are bald, then that means you're going to be bald. Is it as straightforward as that? Or
that's what we thought. I think historically we thought 70% of genetics come from maternal side and 30% from paternal side. So historically we thought if you had strong maternal genetics, you're okay. But I think there's some studies which are starting to question that thought process, you see.
Really?
But I still think if there's both maternal and paternal sides are strong, for like no genetics for hair loss or weak genetics for hair loss, I think you should be okay potentially. But then depends on your personality as well. I mean, if you're one of those highly edgy, stressed humans, then I think you're in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some people who they're YouTubers that they'd be highly stressed out with the amount of work which they're trying to take on, and within a matter of a year or 2 years, like the hair has.
You've seen that, have you?
Yeah, I've seen it. But then it's hard to tell as well, especially in the industry which I'm in, the fitness industry. A lot of people would correlate steroid usage with the acceleration of hair loss as well. So is that a thing?
Yeah.
Because that's when I was losing my hair, everyone was like, "Oh, that's because he's taken all the steroids."
I did read that. Yeah,
I'm like, well, have you not looked at my brother and my dad who are like fully bald?
Yeah. No, I think again, if you're genetically susceptible,
it
goes like that. And I've seen men as young as maybe 19 with an onward 6 stage of loss, which is potentially whole of the top is gone, and their history was maybe 6 months, 7 months of anabols and gone like that.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, I worked on some professional bodybuilders who openly confessed, listen, I've used it. Well, I've cycled well in a clever way, but no genetics. But then they've used Finasteride as well.
Okay, yeah.
In a clever way. And I had this American gentleman who was using 5 milligrams of Finasteride
a day.
It's a big dose. But he goes, you know what? Hair is key for me. And of course, I'm using so much testosterone, it doesn't matter. I don't think it's affecting my libido in any way.
Okay.
But it worked for him. He was well into his late 40s, phenomenal physique. But we don't know what the anabol had done to his organs and stuff. But he looked well.
Yeah.
He looked well, decent head of hair.
Is there any particular anabolic steroid that would speed up the hair loss?
I'm the wrong person.
You're the wrong person.
So I don't even know what what's used in the industry, you see.
Yeah. Okay. But most guys should not be taking it anyway. Okay, so let's go back to when I did the procedure, because I think I still to this day get so many questions asked about it. You know, when I put the videos out, when it was like the procedure itself, And then I would do a check-in like 6 months later, a year later. Like I was getting more questions about hair than I was fitness.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
it was pretty crazy. But I was getting a lot of questions that I feel like I'd answered in the video. But the most common ones that come up is, so first of all, like going for the consultation. If you remember, I don't even know if you remember, like what did you kind of see with my hair to make me a good candidate for the procedure?
Couple of factors. You see, you had the right texture of hair, coarse hair, which helps because you are. It's an illusion you're trying to create. So the fundamental science is you had 100,000 hair when you were 16, 50,000 at the top, 50,000 at the back. And if I remember correctly, there was quite a bit of thinning there and a little bit of thinning in the crown.
Yeah, it was going back here, and the crown was
so potentially, let's say you'd lost a third of your hair, which is probably what 15 to 20,000 hair. For me to make you, let's say, turn the clock back, I need to find 20,000 hair. Let's say we take each unit is about 3 hair, so we need about 6,000 grafts for that. Impossible. If I could have taken 6,000 grafts, but that would have meant there's nothing left for a rainy day. So what we try to do is we create an illusion where we pick the strongest hair. These are the trees. Imagine you're populating a garden, and then the fence has to be subtle. All the singles have to go at the front. So when I saw you, I thought, wow, texture is great, but you'd lost aggressively. And B, you had, I think, the texture of your scalp as well. If people have a really lax scalp, technically a bit harder. You need something to stabilize. So the scalp was pretty tight. And then your expectation as well. I think what I see is a lot of young men come to me saying that, you know what, I want a hairline like I was a 12-year-old. Like, why?
Like the Lego hair.
Exactly. I tell them, listen, were you more desirable as a 12-year-old? Were you more desirable as a 20-year-old? There's a reason why you get a little bit of temporal recession. That's your testosterone peaking. Your expectations are very reasonable. And then I think we discussed about long-term management as well. Yes, I can do my bit, which is the transplanted hair. You've done well, should potentially stay for the rest of your life. But then what about your existing hair? I think you came on board and said, listen, I'm investing a lot of time and effort into this. I'll look after it. Whatever it takes. So I think these are the 3 factors which we look for.
And for those who don't know, when you take a follicle from the side or the back and you implant it, that should theoretically stay there.
It should.
But the existing hair that's already on top, that could still fall out.
Exactly.
So if you were doing nothing to treat it, over a set period of time, the newly transplanted hair could stay.
It does.
But the existing hair could continue to fall out.
Exactly.
Which is one of the reasons why you may potentially need a second
further procedure.
But that's something which you need to think about. And of course, when I was doing it, I think I said to you, I was like, look, this is how I want my hair to be. So just keep that in mind, because one thing I noticed, if you do have a super buzz cut, like really short, you can kind of see this slightly different texture in the hair. But if you let it grow just a little bit, then it all kind of looks the same. And there was a few people afterwards saying like, is that as long as your hair will grow now? I was like, no, this is just the way I like to style my hair. So I think for people who are planning to have longer hair, like imagine if it was just long and then I slicked it back, I guess you don't have to worry as much. I think it's probably harder to style your hair like this after a transplant.
Exactly. So this takes a lot more effort. So I think the caveat of why it stays long, as I was describing, you need to make sure you preserve the entire graft, the structural integrity of the graft. But essentially what you paid me was to make sure, listen, don't cut any grafts. They're priceless. And then make sure the angulation's perfect. So I want to keep it long, grow it short. I don't want my hair to look like all over the place. And then the third thing let's say the third thing we do is, I remember you suggesting that you'd like to explore short haircuts. So we always need to make sure the client has that parachute or clip it short, don't over harvest, and try and minimize scarring. I mean, I'll be lying to you if I say there's zero scarring, but there are things you can do to minimize scarring. And then the fourth thing I learned was, if you look at most hair transplant, they're planted in rows and the patterns, man-made patterns. But then if you observe a bit closely, you can look at the back of your hands, you can see hair coming out of each pore, and the same anatomy is replicated in your scalp. So what we did was we tried and introduced the hair back into your old pores. Obviously, if there's enough numbers, we can fill in every pore. But sometimes it's a judgment call you make. Listen, what would give more volume, a certain light, certain look? So as I said, if you clip it short, no one should know. At this length, no one should know. Even when you grow it long, you should be okay. There is a period, I reckon, where maybe month 3, month 4, where it can look a bit untidy. But then after that, you let it grow and you're fine. So I think you're right. I think some of the badly performed procedures as well under certain lengths can still look okay. You've got bushy hair on top, you're hiding all the flaws. But then when you clip it short, that's when you see there's a big difference between a high quality work procedure and a well executed procedure and something that's been mashed up.
And mine was done over a 2-day period. That's right.
Exactly. I take my time.
Yeah. Because again, afterwards, when people were saying they had like 3,000 grafts and it was done in a day, I was like,
exactly. 3 hours, 4 hours, less.
Wow, that was like, why was mine over 2 days? And then I realized it's the precision. And so if anyone's doing it and it is taking, over a day, that's completely fine. In fact, it's probably a good sign.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Again, we don't want to subject the grafts to a lot of trauma. And B, I mean, okay, I could have delegated all the work to my techs, which is not right. They could have sped up a bit more, but we want to make sure that never happens. And B, what I realized is if you do it over 2 days, imagine we do something on day 1. It's a 10-hour procedure. There's a bit of fatigue on your part, a bit of fatigue on our part. And if you find that the imperfections are something that can be corrected on day 2, much easier rather than wait 9 months or 12 months and then come back and fix it.
Yeah, and for me personally, I mean, I was living in London at the time, so I wanted to go somewhere that was close.
Exactly.
Because there's nothing worse than, you have to go somewhere overseas to get the procedure done. You're probably staying in a hotel. And then you obviously have to get the flight back. Maybe you'd have some sort of reaction on the flight, the pressure. And then if you get back to wherever you live and you find out that something has gone wrong, then where do you go to? So for me, like my philosophy in life is like I want convenience.
Some things like your health and something that has a long-term impact. Yeah, you're better off. I think we have access. Things go wrong. We can easily address them then and there rather than let it cascade into something unmanageable.
Yeah. And then the aftermath for me was, I think, as you said, it was pretty quick. There was a bit of swelling. You told me to spray my head. It was every 30 minutes or something with this solution. The idea behind that was...
The logic is, I mean, you can potentially wash, but your scalp is numb. You don't know what kind of pressure you apply. You might dislodge the grafts. And then we place the grafts at specific angles. You don't want to be disturbing. So if you keep spraying, it acts as a mechanical disinfectant, saline water. And then if you want to scrub it off day 4, it's much easier. Rather than becoming one giant scab, you can just wash it off a lot easier.
Yeah, I remember because you said not to do any exercise, so I was
2 weeks, wasn't it?
I was going insane. So I remember going for a walk in the park with my solution, just spraying myself every so often. I think people.
I think you hit the gym a lot sooner than the 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think I ended up going. I think a week after.
Yeah.
Now I remember you saying not to, but I think the main issue would have been the infection. So sweating.
Infection, not so much. We don't see infections as such, but the pores are still open and gym equipment is dirty. Sometimes the temptation is to play with your hair. And
so it's not the sweat. It's more so what you're coming in contact with. Okay, interesting.
But walks, we encourage, you see. Day 1, walks up very, very good.
Because I didn't know as well if a risk was me straining so hard and like not breathing properly and just like popping them out.
Yeah. And one thing again, something that I realized is when I started the procedure, the logic was to inflate the scalp and then replace. But then you end up with so much swelling, you lose 2 weeks of your life.
Yeah.
Then we've evolved in a way where we don't need to inflate as much, so clients can walk away. I think the one reason why we see swelling is there's no discomfort after. That's the feedback we get. And most clients, they're a bit relaxed and they're on the phones and tempting. 5-6 hours later, you're leaning forward and realize, oh my God, there's a bit of fluid.
Yeah. So I've seen some funny pictures.
Yeah. So we don't get, fortunately, it's a rarity. Maybe 1 in 3,000-4,000 patients had a bit of a swelling. Again, purely because they fly the next day or they had an important meeting. So I was on a Zoom call for 3 hours on day 1 after surgery.
So don't lean forward.
Don't lean forward, exactly. We will play with your devices, but lie back and lift your hand up.
Yeah.
Works like a treat. The fluid drains back. That's it, 1 day.
Yeah.
After day 1, you're fine.
Yeah. Okay, so because that was one of the main questions I was getting asked. Everyone was like, "When can I go back to the gym?" And I'm like, "Look, don't do what I say. Like, I don't want to be the reason why your hair transplant fails."
I don't think it fails as such, but the key thing is you might get prolonged redness.
Okay.
And some people hate it. I mean, you got a nice tan and you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Someone's super pale, they hate the redness, you see.
Yeah.
And some people have such sensitive skin, you touch them, they turn purple. So.
Yeah.
So I said, listen, take 2 weeks off. Long walks is fine. Don't sweat. Easy, chilled walks.
Yeah.
And then once the redness goes down, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
So, I mean, potentially, if someone can have slightly darker skin, by 7 days, 10 days, this redness is gone. I don't see any reason why you can't work out.
Yeah. And then if we look at the aftermath up to 12 months afterwards, which was, as you said, would happen, you see the transplanted hair actually fall off.
They do shed.
But not the whole thing, it's just the stem.
Exactly.
So don't expect to see the results until after 6 months, because that's what I noticed. It looked like I had hair, then it kind of went back to how it was before.
Yeah, you panic.
Yeah. And then after 6 months it comes back, and then every month after that it gets thicker and thicker and thicker. And I think it almost peaks at like 12 months. I don't know.
The younger you are, the sooner it peaks, I suppose. I think, probably around 9-12 months is when the texture changes as well.
Yeah.
Again, the logic is, my take on this is when we look at hair, when we take them out, obviously hair is in different cycles of growth, the anagen phase, telogen phase, the catagen phase. But when I transfer them, we don't know what cycle they're in.
Yeah.
Besides, they are subjected to a bit of trauma. It's a big journey. You're safe in a place, you come out to a petri dish, and then you go back in. So initially, wow, blood supply, they're happy. But then a week or 2 later, like, hang on a second, something's happening here. And then the superficial hair breaks, but the roots are still there.
Yeah.
And by month 3, month 4, this is the same ecosystem. So gradually starts coming back. It works, you see, it works in your favor. That you don't walk out a week later, you got a full head of hair. You're almost tricking your peers to thinking, you know what, I've just clipped it short, and then gradually it gets better. So,
from your, how many transplants do you think you've done now? How many procedures?
So I think I started in 2006. Yeah, 2006. My God,
2006.
I said 16. 2006. So I used to do 1 a day for about 3 years, and then the team evolved and we started doing 2 a day. We did that until COVID, and after that, as you know, 1 is enough. So now I'd probably say for about 300 a year for 6 years, and maybe 500 a year for about 10 years.
That's a lot, yeah.
Maybe closer to the 10,000 mark, I think. And some are small. We do a lot of beards, a lot of eyebrows.
Yeah.
They're quicker, much quicker. So sometimes we do 2 eyebrows in a day, because you're doing 100 grafts each side, 200 grafts maximum. Quick in, quick out. Beards probably take between 3 to 4 hours. Again, you don't need a lot of grafts as well.
And for those people that are coming for the beards, is it usually because they have a bald spot? Like, is it alopecia? Is that what it is?
Okay, that's a different nomenclature altogether. Alopecia areata is when your body's immune cells fight against your hair. So you get patches. These are post-stressful events. Can happen straight away, or there's a bit of a delay between a phenomenally stressful event and you noticing these patches. If treated early with, let's say, a steroid cream, or go to your doctor, they'll inject something into there's some better molecules now. 72-hour window is what we recommend. Usually grows back. Then the question becomes, transplant on these areata patches, are they recommended? I think they're safe. There's no reason why. So the reason why a lot of men come to us for beards now is they've got a full head of hair, but they don't feel fashionable enough. And it's a cultural thing. I think, from what I gather, you're not considered an heir to one of the royal thrones unless you have a great beard in the Middle East. And I didn't realize there's so many heirs to the throne there. So we get a lot of clients from that part of the world suggesting, listen, I'm a potential heir. Make my beard as perfect as possible. So,
and that's coming from the same area, or
logic is the same.
Could you technically transfer pubic hair?
I wouldn't recommend.
Why? Because it would just come out.
Texture's different.
That makes sense.
I think the cycles are different. Texture's different.
So
what I think, I've tried body hair in the past. The feedback has been the texture doesn't look the same, and I think the shedding is a lot higher. So I think the feedback I got was 2 to 3 years later they become even finer. Potentially the purpose of body hair is different to scalp hair. But then we've transferred some hair from the beard to the scalp. That works.
Okay. So if you are really a big beardy man, you could move to the side.
Within reason. I mean, you don't want scarring on your face either.
That's true.
Then you don't have unlimited access as well. It's within reason.
This episode is brought to you by Whoop. The all-new Whoop is here, the only wearable that turns your health and fitness data into personalized guidance. Now, 7% smaller with 14 days of battery life. I've been wearing Whoop since 2021, and I've been wearing it every single day. It's a device which I have used to improve my training, improve my sleep, and stay away from the things which are definitely not good for me. It has been a game changer. Now, Whoop includes a heart screener with on-demand ECG readings, so you can check in on your heart anytime and share results with your healthcare provider. It also includes a health span, a new feature that demystifies the aging process and shows how your daily habits impact your pace of aging, as well as hormonal insights for personalized guidance throughout your cycle or pregnancy. It's the only wearable that gives you a truly comprehensive view of your body, designed to help you improve your performance, longevity, and overall health. So you can join now at joinwhoop.com/first things first to get your first month for free. Let's get back to the episode. So the thousands of procedures you've done, for any of the ones that maybe didn't come out as well as you'd expected, what would have been the reason behind that? Is certain people's bodies just bound to reject the transplanted hair?
It shouldn't happen, you see. I think, again, probably these things maybe early in my career, where I started off doing a lot of corrective procedures where people had strip surgery in the past or plugs. And the one thing I learned was, when there have been multiple surgeries to the scalp, every time you go puncture the skin, it recovers, the blood supply diminishes over a period of. So when I look back, I think the ones where the growth hasn't been exceptional has been ones where people have had repetitive work, 5, 6, 7 procedures. Still the yield is there, let's say, but not 85, 90% yield, maybe 50, 60% yield. That is a failure. I mean, I think, but where the patient unhappy, no, because I think from what they'd seen, this 50, 60% retention was better than the older surgeries. So then you realize, okay, you pick your battles. And there are some clients where you counsel them extensively. Listen, you had 7 surgeries before, chances are your scalp is
Very tired.
Exactly. Tired, fatigued. The blood supply is not the best.
Yeah.
So if you're happy accepting a 50-60% yield, we go forward.
Yeah.
There have been scenarios where the patient's happy, but I wasn't. You know what, actually looks a bit asymmetrical. I can do a better job. Give me an hour. And we've done a few of those.
So this is after, and then
yeah,
you
exactly. I look a bit closer and you know what, I'm quite obsessive. I'm super obsessive. It's not a great streak. It's got its downsides, the obsessive streak. But when it comes to surgical work, it works. It works exceptionally well. I see, you know what, actually they come for follow-ups. You know, give me an hour. I just need about 30, 40, 50 grafts to adjust it a bit.
Yeah.
So that's something we do it, not an issue. The other things where I've never seen an infection as such, there have been an odd instance where, this is a really good story. A client of ours was dating a very young lady, and after the surgery, I think she pulled some of the grafts out. So this is one scenario where I realized that, you know what, actually they do come off a lot easier. So this is one occurrence where I think she did. I think they were being a bit intimate, and he said, I never initiated, but there's two sides to the story, obviously. But that's one scenario where it wasn't a great outcome. I think we had to revisit that. And again, we had a client who knocked his scalp as he got into the cab, and probably 300-400 grafts popped out. Unfortunately, he came back, and somehow we had to take more out. They were dead. Again, what we realized is they don't last long outside the body. Maybe 20, 30, 10 seconds, they're dead.
So when you were putting it in the Petri dish, there was fluid in there?
Exactly.
Okay, interesting.
You had to be quick.
Yeah, I remember, I think I went to Dubai shortly after, and I jumped out of a plane, skydiving.
Did you?
And I was thinking, this is probably not the most sensible of ideas. It's because of all the wind.
Wind is okay. Wind is okay. But helmets, you see.
Yeah. So there's a few people cracking jokes, but.
So I think when clients pick the surgeries, most of them pick the dates around their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Either a ski holiday or a summer holiday. And the consensus is you can wear ski helmets, but I suggest them wear the ones with vent 2 weeks after, or 4 weeks. 4 weeks is much safer.
I think for me, it would make, if I'm going to do it again, it would be more suitable to do it around the winter time. Because if I was to do it in the summer and I was going to be in Dubai or somewhere hot, I'm probably going to be sweating a lot more often. So it's harder to keep cool. And then secondly, the chance of me being exposed to sunlight is going to be a lot higher. I don't know how bad sunlight is for it.
Sunlight is bad.
Okay. Yeah.
Sunlight on balance is bad because, again, we see a lot of clients where the scalp is really damaged. So one thing I've learned is the scalp hair is exceptionally protective. So there's a medical reason for someone to get a hair transplant.
Yeah. So this is not the hair, this is the scalp.
The scalp is exceptionally damaged because of sun.
Yeah.
And I think one thing we realize is faces, you can see early signs of sun damage and it's changing into something a bit more sinister. You can pick up a lot quicker. But back of scalps, it's a bit slower.
Yeah.
So we've seen a lot of scenarios where I say, you know what, actually, I don't think this or I mean, they come for consultation and then we realize, you know what, you need some help here. Yeah. So I think my advice is wear a cap. Midday sun, wear a cap.
Yeah.
Always safer.
This is after.
I mean, no matter whether you get a transplant or not, if you lack hair on your scalp, the best thing to do is protect it. Sunscreen, cap, midday sun.
Yeah. Okay.
After, I don't think 3-4 weeks max. You can expose it. Sensible sun.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Finasteride, Propecia, because, I mean, that is something which, again, I get asked a lot. And I remember before I started taking it, I did a hell of a lot of research into it. And to be honest, I ended up just scaring myself more than anything. Because realistically, if you think about it, if somebody has a good experience of something, they don't really feel the need to leave a review.
Exactly.
They're just like, oh, cool, yeah, it works fine. But when someone has a really negative experience about something, for example, it could be, traveling, whether it be an Airbnb or a hotel. If they have a bad experience, there's a lot of emotion attached to that, and they feel the need to write it on the internet. So all I was seeing was basically a load of people getting the negative side effects, and probably a lot of people who were just psychologically damaging themselves. It was a big placebo. Because, for example, if you take something where a potential side effect could be you losing your sex drive or not being able to maintain an erection,
it's a big risk.
Then, if you're about to get intimate with someone and all you're thinking about is not getting hard, then you're probably not going to get hard. Like, you need to be relaxed. So I was like, you know what? Especially because if I was going to make this investment with a procedure, I'm willing to do anything on the side to maximize the effectiveness of the procedure.
Mm-hmm.
So I started taking it. And I mean, to be honest, I didn't really experience anything. I think to begin with, psychologically, I was probably just expecting something bad to happen. So some bad things happened. But then I kind of got myself out of that train of thought, and then everything was fine. And obviously, I go to the gym, I eat well, my testosterone naturally was pretty high, so everything was sweet. But for people that have taken it or are considering taking it, what percentage of those people are realistically going to experience some side effects?
Percentages are hard, you see. Literature states around 1%, 1 to 3%. But I think reality, in my practice, it's a lot lower. So I do a few things, you see. When you meet someone, you talk to someone, you do an assessment, you know what their personality is. Someone's reasonably comfortable, has a good lifestyle, sleeps well. Sleep is key here. And then vitamin D is key here. If you have vitamin D deficiency, then chances are you will get side effects. So I think, in a way, I'm a bit more cautious to prescribe it to everyone. So the first phase is make sure the parameters are all there, like naturally relaxed, decent level of testosterone, vitamin D, decent levels of vitamin D. So in my practice, maybe I must have done maybe 20, 30,000 prescriptions, and I've had probably 6 or 7 clients come back and say they don't like the side effects. So, but then the key thing is everyone gets side effects in the early phases. There is some drop in DHT. The percentage wise, it depends. Some people experience 50% drop in systemic DHT. Some people a lot less.
I was feeling something in my balls to begin with. It was like a little...
I think the logic is you're probably producing more semen. So the logic is to ejaculate more often. So I think if you plan it well, start with a smaller dose, let's say a 0.5 milligram every other day. But what I see is most clients get transient side effects. Excuse me, in the early phases, you see a big chunk of clients having side effects. And then a month, 2 months in, naturally it wears off.
For me, I was doing 1 milligram a day, and I was like, I need to make sure I take this daily. I thought, like, there was a few days where I missed it, and I thought I completely messed up the whole...
No, you're okay. I think minoxidil is a bit more critical because the blood supply, the half-life is a lot shorter. Finasteride, even a week, 2 weeks, you should be fine.
Because now I've got a very much sort of casual approach to it, where I will each of the pills is 1 milligram.
Okay.
I usually I bite off a half, and then like a day or 2 days later, I have the other one. But I need to have it like on show on my counter, otherwise I forget to take it. And then obviously, if we go in extended periods of time, probably not ideal. Although it's interesting to observe, because I may have forgotten to take it with me or run out, and a week goes by or 2 weeks go by, and I don't really think I see any. It's not like everything's coming out. So, obviously I don't want those periods to be for too long. But I think since the procedure itself, I've been fairly consistent with it.
Okay.
But the question for me now is, do I continue to take it, or should I look at alternatives? Especially when it comes to maybe I think having kids. Is
Yeah.
there something you need to take into consideration there?
Again, the literature states you need about 300 pills a day for 3 months for any amount to be transferred through your semen.
300
pills a day for 3 months. That's what the literature states. Animal studies again.
So they're giving some animals 300.
Exactly.
Wow.
But I think our logic is chances of conception every cycle is 10%. It's not high. It's only 10%. And then the added stress, like, oh my God, I'm taking a pill.
Yeah.
So what we suggest is probably if you're taking Finasteride, maybe 6 to 8 weeks off. It's out of your system. If you're taking Dutasteride, probably 6 months off Dutasteride, you should be fine.
Wait,
but
so-
again, nothing to suggest you should stop it.
Yeah. What? So you stop, you wait that period of time, then you try to have kids. Okay.
About 6 weeks.
Okay.
Just the safest period. It's out of your liver, out of your system.
Yeah.
But the half-life in reality is a lot less than that.
Yeah.
It's out of your system a lot quicker.
Is there any, apart from that, is there any benefits of taking it?
Finasteride?
Yeah.
If you look at Finasteride, most men by the age of 65 have an enlarged prostate.
Yeah.
So they take 5 milligrams every day. And if you look at a cross-section of men, they say the sex lives have improved on Finasteride. You have a big prostate. Obviously, you have issues with urinary retention and erections, but then you shrink the size of it, the sex life blossoms.
Okay.
So I think the sexual side effects are overstated. But what I do realize is young men are under a lot of duress now. I think it's okay. It's never been this. I mean, obviously, I'm talking in terms of out of context here. As we speak, there's so many wars happening now. Suddenly, but I mean, the feedback I get is in probably human history, it's never been this. You can plan your life now.
Yeah.
Okay. Back in the day, young man means go to war. You're dead by your mid-20s. But now you can construct your innings. But then also you're getting a lot of feedback from people you've rarely met in your life. So I think they're under a lot of duress. You see young men under a lot of pressure. So, I think as long as your sleep is good, your diet is good, you work out, I doubt you get any side effects. And besides, you can stop the medication.
Yeah.
Side effects are gone.
Yeah. What other alternatives can people look into?
So again, what we started about 12 years ago was to try and find means where clients had side effects on oral medication. So we've got a few topicals, about 6 or 7. So there's one with it's got Finasteride and minoxidil in it. It's a small dose of Finasteride as a spray. It's not as effective as the pill, but the side effects are next to nothing. Very manageable side effects.
So this, you would spray this on the scalp? 4
to 6 sprays twice a day.
Okay. Do you need to massage it in, or
massage it in for a minute?
Okay.
Again, and then there are some clients who don't want Finasteride at all. We've got again minoxidil with a few other products that help penetrate it a lot better.
But why would people not want
Finasteride?
Topical Finasteride?
I think it's a difficult one.
Because it's the stigma attached to it. They think, I don't want that anywhere near me.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think they are worried about potential side effects. But also what we realized is adding Dutasteride to the mix.
What's Dutasteride?
Dutasteride is again a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor. It's one that reduces DHT. So Finasteride reduces DHT in the scalp somewhere between 10 to 20% based on the dosage, but Dutasteride reduces DHT by 90%. It's phenomenally effective.
Okay.
But the side effects are slightly higher as well.
Okay.
So as a cream, because the molecular weight is a bit heavier, we hardly see anyone complain of side effects. So what we've done is we put men who had side effects on oral Finasteride. We tried topical Finasteride. They said, for some reason, the molecule, I don't want to be associated with it. Then you switch to topical Dutasteride. They say, wow, I don't feel anything. So it's a bit heavier product. So the absorption is not the greatest. So we recommend using a derma roller.
Yeah.
Or we've got a few media. It's liposomal, so the absorption's a bit better.
I'm looking forward to trying this because I've not done anything topical.
I think you should.
So you could argue combining both would give you the even better results.
Exactly. So take your probably, every other day of 0.5 milligram Finasteride if you can.
Yeah.
Try the topical.
Which one would you suggest for me to take?
I think for you, I'd probably start with the topical Dutasteride.
Yeah.
And then let's say on the hierarchy of things, let's put, if you see what the management structure is, Dutasteride is the strongest. And then you have oral Dutasteride is the strongest, oral Finasteride comes in next, and then oral minoxidil is getting a lot of traction. Because what we've realized is there's an enzyme called sulfide transferase, which is not widely, which you need for the topical minoxidil to work. Not many men have the active metabolite in the scalp. So we've realized oral minoxidil works a lot better.
Yeah.
Fewer side effects. So we see some men complaining of some fluid retention around the eyes, very rarely. But topical comes in after. All the topicals comes in after.
Yeah. Because minoxidil is that the foam?
You spray foam, the active molecule.
And the idea behind it, because I don't think I went forward with ever trying it just because of the inconvenience of having to do it. And the fact that if you miss it, then the effects...
The shedding.
Well, there's a shedding. Could it be even worse after you've used it?
We don't know that, you see. I think the problem is you start at 20, let's say. Your tissue quality is exceptional. You stop at 40. And then obviously you manage to retain all your hair, and then you see shedding. But then the question is, would you have lost all of them anyway?
Yeah.
Had you not used it? So it's difficult. I mean, you start at 26 months, you stop at, let's say you're 21, then I think you can correlate. I don't think the loss is greater. But 20 years down the line, the tissue quality has changed. Obviously, you might see a bigger loss. But the key thing with minoxidil is you do see some shedding initially.
Yeah.
So all the minoxidil is doing is it's increasing blood supply to your follicles. So the anagen phase is prolonged. So as long as you use it, the anagen, your hair's in the anagen phase. The minute you stop it, they say, oh, okay, let's go back to our normal cycle.
So you say blood supply is the key here. So that's one of the reasons why the crown tends to be the first thing to go, because it gets the least amount of blood supply.
One could argue, but I think it's a bit more complex than that.
Yeah. Okay. So would it make sense if I was to get a 15 to 20 minute head massage every day that could help?
Potentially. There's some evidence to support that. So again, this is you've touched an important subject here. So what we suggest to our clients is there are a few things one can do without medication whatsoever. If you notice early signs of shedding, or you don't want to experience any shedding, not to wash hair with hot water. Lukewarm showers are advisable. Heat is not your greatest friend when it comes to hair.
Okay.
And then hardness as well. So especially in London, the water is really hard.
Okay.
So water softener makes a big difference in the long run. And then a sulfate-free shampoo.
Okay.
Anything organic without sulfates does the job. And then your supplements. I'm a big fan of vitamin D with K2. And then walnuts or Brazil nuts.
Yeah.
They have zinc, selenium, manganese, all these trace elements which you need for your vitality. Obviously, a good protein diet.
Yeah.
Again, we're big fans of sleep. I mean, it's one of those things, such an understated thing in the game. Young men don't sleep enough at all.
Especially with all these electronics and technology. Yeah. I notice a lot of people in Dubai in the Middle East complain about the water that comes out of the shower. So there's something in the water which causes the hair to fall out or thin. I don't know. I don't know if it's the thinning of the hair itself or the shedding, but a lot of people in Dubai, especially it's women who are complaining about this, because women are washing their hair every day. They put these filters in the shower head to try and minimize it. So I do know that is an issue. So if anybody's listening, maybe look into the type of water that's coming out of the shower head and address it either with a filter or wash your hair with mineral water instead, maybe.
If that is an option.
Yeah.
I think it's great for your skin health as well. Soft water.
Yeah.
Hard water is not your best friend when it comes to skin health as well.
Yeah. What about graying of the hair? Because this is something which I'm soon going to be 35. There's some grays coming. I mean, thankfully, I don't know why not on the top, on the side. I don't know if that's just the thing that happened. I'm glad because I get it cut short on the side. But I was speaking to someone, and I get my blood work done quite regularly, and my copper is consistently low. Now, that's not because I'm not supplementing on top of that. I think my body just has an issue absorbing copper.
Okay.
And he said there was a relationship between copper deficiency and premature graying of the hair. Is that true?
Partially right. Yeah. But partially right. I think your hair's losing your melanocytes, the pigment.
Again, is this genetics? Is it lifestyle?
We see premature graying genetically. There is a small genetic preponderance for that, but predominantly lifestyle.
Yeah.
Predominantly lifestyle and poor diets.
Okay.
Plays a big part. I didn't realize that you had copper deficiency. Wow. Okay. Is there anything that can be done?
It's getting better now. So I have my supplements from Bionic. So I get my blood tested. They then put together the specific formula based on the blood work, and then I have it's addressing the deficiencies which I have.
Yeah.
And then those deficiencies might change over time, which is why my formula changes over time. But even with the supplement, the extra copper I'm getting and the formula, it should theoretically be higher.
Elevated.
So what I'm doing on top of that, which I realized I was never doing before, was having organ meat. But organ meat's packed with those nutrients, particularly copper.
Yeah.
So I'm now supplementing with the organ meat, which has got kidney, heart, literally liver, everything. But it's very hard to see if that is making a difference or not.
Yeah, it takes time. Takes time.
So, 2 questions. If you have grey hair, a grey follicle, can you reverse the greying, or is that grey forever?
Not yet, but there is some potential breakthroughs happening in that front as well. I think they're working on an enzyme called catalase, which can repigment. I don't know where they are with the product, but I think the science is there.
Yeah.
To reverse the graying.
And if there was graying in potential follicles which could be transplanted, if you were to transplant a grey follicle to the top's going to be grey.
It would indeed, yeah.
So this is going to be a problem. I need to make sure I keep this brown if I'm going to be doing a part 2.
But even if you transfer a pigmented follicle, like a darker follicle, it turns grey eventually.
Okay, yeah, well, true. So maybe I'll just have to accept the fact that I might be a silver fox when I'm older. Another thing, if, let's say, for example, you had the perfect formula of everything, topically and orally, can you regrow hair?
Regrowth, how do we address this? So the way hair thins is, you have thicker hair, which is 3, 4, 5 follicles, becomes thinner. On a basic level, let's say the 3s and 4s become 1s and 2s. And then they become even thinner. And then it turns into skin. So if you catch it at a stage where you're earlier in the cycle, let's say the 1s and 2s are there, and you catch it early, try your DHT blockers, which is Finasteride, Dutasteride, and maybe minoxidil, and your diet improves, your sleep improves, your vitamin D levels corrected, and you're of a certain age, because tissue regenerates better when you're younger. We have seen some reversal of thinning. But I don't think you ever get it back to before you lost it. But you can see significant changes and reversal of miniaturization.
Because I've seen some people claim that their hair is like, they've seen hair growth, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not possible.
Once it turns into skin, no. But having said that, I think there was a recent study where they found a molecule which works on the metabolic pathway. And in animal studies, they've shown that even if it's dormant follicles, white skin, they've reversed it. So we might be having a different conversation in a couple of years.
Yeah. What about things like PRP and stem cells? So the PRP, I mean, you're probably going to do a better job of explaining it. That's when you would inject plasma.
Plasma, exactly. You draw your blood out, take out the plasma. PRP, my gripe is, we've had PRP for nearly 20 years now. And if something's that good, someone should have come up with a more consistent study. What bothers me is that there hasn't been any big study, consistent study. For example, you have studies on Finasteride, effectiveness of Finasteride, effectiveness of minoxidil. But PRP, it's hit and miss. And my take on this is, if you're having like a post-stress shedding, like telogen effluvium, I would steer clear of PRP. But then everything's perfect. You just want an addendum where you want a little bit of, I think the trauma helps, this little microneedling, without a shadow of a doubt, gentle trauma helps. So I suspect what the PRP is doing is the trauma might be helping. The growth factors in PRP questionable. Depends on what kind of PRP one's injecting and stuff. But on the face, it's really effective. So what we do is occasionally, hey, listen, this hair might work, might not work. Dermarol a bit, apply on your face. It's really useful. It gives you a nice glow and very hydrating. Stem cells, a difficult question.
This is in the early phases.
Not early phases, but then there's been a lot of misconception. You see, some people are selling PRP as stem cell. Some people are using exosomes, like exogenous. So exosomes are messenger cells that communicate. They're saying they are stem cells. The nomenclature is flawed. I think my understanding is we did a study about 7 or 8 years ago where we took some of the fat cells, spun it around. It's a reasonably decent study, and we thought we'll inject it, a pre-transplant, to see if it makes a difference. Or inject it into the scalp and see someone who's thinning, it makes a difference. I don't think the outcomes were exceptional enough for us to warrant proceeding with it. But I wouldn't be surprised if you maybe take stem cells from your bone marrow or iliac crest or one of those regions. Early days.
So it would need to be your own.
That's what I would have thought. So you see, I think there are some from practitioners using Muse stem cells. I see it's in Dubai now. Injecting IV for tendon repair and stuff. Again, my understanding is very limited. I need to delve a bit deeper into it.
I guess it's a question of ethics as well, because a lot of these procedures and the people that are making money from PRP and stem cells or whatever, they're obviously going to say, yes, this works.
That's a difficult one. You're right.
So, people who these practices or individuals who are very good at marketing, they will convince people to part with a lot of money. And in reality, the outcome is still it's either unknown or just doesn't work. But I've been in this situation before where, you are losing your hair and it feels like the most important thing in the world. You do anything to get your hair back. So you're willing to do whatever or spend whatever to get it back. And I would imagine a lot of people are probably doing that, just wasting their money.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think clinics that are purely making their money out of PRP, they're obviously they scream loud about it. But we don't offer PRP as a. I don't think it's cost effective. Obviously, that is an option. But I say, listen, would it work? The social contracts are important. You see, if someone comes in and says, you know what, I look like this before, what will I look after? But PRP, you don't know. You can't. These contracts are really important. People judge you by what you do, and I think with transplants, there's consistency. Medication, there's some level of consistency, but obviously the risk is a lot lesser. But the injectables, we don't know yet.
So you have your own practice now.
I do indeed.
You've had that for how long?
Post-COVID.
What's it called?
It's Restore Hair Clinics. It's 107 Harley Street.
Okay. And what does the future look like for you? I know you've done so many procedures. You probably get to the point where you're like, I can't do anymore.
No, I'm really passionate about it, you see, but I think the physicality, because I operate 10 hours a day, and recently I've had a bit of a frozen shoulder. So I could say, you know what, actually I'm getting on a bit now. Obviously I work out every day. Does help. Sauna every day. I don't know, good or bad, but it does help. So post-work, I stretch, posterior chain workout, sauna, watch my sleep,
Mhm.
live like an athlete.
Yeah.
My alcohol consumption is Saturday night, maybe a pint or two.
Yeah.
As low as that. But still, I'm realizing, you know what, actually, no matter how well you look after yourself, at a certain phase, no wonder all these footballers after 30 don't get any contracts.
Yeah.
So I think the future is if I find someone ethical, conscientious, who's passionate about this, I think there's room for a lot of young doctors to jump into this to this game.
Mhm.
You need a young body for this, you see.
So you would coach or train people?
Yeah, I think that's the aspiration. Where obviously I've had private equity take a keen interest in what I do, but I think the ethics doesn't add up of their vision against mine. My vision would be, let's say, if I have 4 or 5 ethical doctors, it takes time.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of years of hands-on training. And then I think the markets are there. Fortunately, I'm quite lucky that clients that I worked on 16, 17 years ago are still referring the friends. So online game is a nightmare. We've never advertised. It's very difficult.
Yeah. You find people like me.
Word of mouth. Word of mouth. In fact, you're the first person, Mike, who's ever admitted to something done.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember you said you had done procedures on quite a lot of famous people.
Yeah.
But they'd said, like, you can't talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess still quite a lot of famous people are coming to you and
they do. To be fair, they do refer. I think they I'm very grateful that for the love in the sense that it's never stopped. They keep referring, and what one thing is that gives us a lot of pride is the results look so natural that, I mean, some of the people are in the media every day and no one's picked up on it.
Yeah.
So it's incredible. So that's testament to how far we push the boundary.
Yeah. But you're not allowed to retire if I want a second transplant. I'm going to pull you out of retirement and be like, look, maybe you to do it.
Maybe I'll go part-time.
Because that's the thing, because nobody knows my hair more than you do and the procedure that has taken place. So I would be very concerned if somebody else was doing it.
There's some challenges like the curls and stuff. You see, you have to make sure the curls are matching your other texture.
You need to give me a heads up before you retire. And I'll book in for the last session.
Maybe I'll go part-time, or maybe I could be a fitness instructor, influencer.
I think definitely the content game is where it's at. The education, content creation. I mean, the sky's the limit. I think you could have your own certification of surgeons.
It's high quality, you see, because one of my colleagues, assistant, he's a lot younger than I, and he was the one that introduced me to YouTube about a year ago.
Yeah.
And since then, I haven't watched any TV. It's all YouTube now. There's so much information. You got to filter out a bit, but high quality information.
Yeah.
But I think probably that's the way forward. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So I guess for people who are thinking about this, who are experiencing hair loss, is there a step-by-step procedure they should go through, especially for those people who are in their teenage years or early 20s and they're starting to experience it? Instead of rushing straight in for a transplant, it's like, okay, should I get a consultation first? Should I start trying some medication first? Like, because I mean, obviously there's the concern of them not wanting to leave it too late to the point that, you know, it's harder and harder to actually get a good result.
I think the key message is seek help early. Ideally meet the surgeon that will be performing the surgery. I would never advocate surgery for anyone under 30, ideally. Late 20s, someone who's got a lot of common sense, who understands the long-term implications, yes. But seek medical help. The earlier, the better.
Yeah.
But I think we have so much information now, so many high-quality professionals in the game. If you catch it early, and I mean, as we were suggesting, being an 18-year-old bloke is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Especially in the sexual marketplace, it's a nightmare. And then on top, you lose your hair. It becomes much harder. So I probably advise is probably a dermatologist, or even your GP. The other thing that's of worth mentioning is there's a genetic test, a DNA test one can do early on. If you've got a 30, 40-year battle, it gives you a breakdown of what might work for you, what might specifically work for you. So my routine now is obviously caffeine cream has come quite on top of.
Is that within a shampoo or separate?
No, it's a cream because you need to leave it on for a while.
Okay.
So there are a lot of firms that are doing caffeinated creams. I mean, I use something from Incilist Easy as my part of my protocol, along with the topical Dutasteride and minoxidil.
Yeah. So what is your protocol then? Because you've had. Do you once upon a time you had a bad procedure which got you into doing this in the first place?
I was a junior medic and you had a really bad procedure. I think maybe 10-20% grew, and then I had so much shock loss, quite a bit of thinning behind. It's one of those things. If you have a bad knee or a bad back, you learn so much more about it, don't you? So I mean, I got quite obsessed back then, and part of the journey was I thought the surgery was bad. Then you realize, no, the surgery is quite simple. Once you know the science, it's the practitioners. Because it's something only marathon runners need to do what I do. Sprinters, this is not a game for sprinters. So it takes time, patience. And sometimes, as I said, someone like yourself, split it. Why spend 20 hours or rush through? Take your time. So I think that helped me. Being in the other end of a bad surgery, you become a bit more conscientious, you care a bit more, and then every day you focus a bit better. So my protocol now is I tried oral minoxidil. It didn't agree with me. I do similar like you, oral Finasteride, if I remember. I keep forgetting. But the topical Dutasteride has been a game changer for me. I use a 0.5 millimeter derma roller once a week, very gently.
So just going...
Very gentle. Don't traumatize too much. Very gently.
And only needs to be once a week?
I don't use more than once a week. I don't think there's any evidence more than once a week helps. Too much trauma is bad. People use 1.5 millimeters, bigger derma rollers. I don't think they're great. 0.5 is enough, sufficient. And throw away the derma roller every 6 to 8 weeks. I think
the spikes get a bit blunt.
They start shearing after.
This is to improve blood flow.
Circulation.
Circulation, okay.
So I use caffeine cream on the spray, and I remember oral Finasteride. Just like you got a pill cutter though. I think I would invent a pill cutter. I don't think biting is. That's
Well, because sometimes you end up getting 3/4 and then
nothing
just disappears or crumbles away.
Exactly.
But the good thing about Dubai is you just get that over the counter. You don't need a prescription.
Oh, is that so? Okay.
Dubai's great. The amount of things you can get over the counter. Even contact lenses, you can go over there and just get some daily contact lenses. Okay. But here, it's in the UK, it's you have to get a proper prescription for that. Okay. But I think you can fill something in online. Like Superdrug, for example.
A lot of pharmacies are doing it that way, where you fill in a questionnaire, they ship out the medication, be it Finasteride, minoxidil, even Dutasteride. I think
it was expensive though. I remember when I did it was more expensive than Dubai.
It's a lot cheaper now because I remember. I don't know when the patent for Propecia came off. It was all Propecia before, so like 50 quid a month. And now Finasteride is like 10 a month, maybe under. And if you split it into 2-3 months, it's much less, you see.
What was that about?
Finasteride.
The patent.
So I think Merck held the patent for...
So only they're a monopoly?
Only they're a monopoly for a long period of time. I think... Maybe the patent expired 6-7 years ago. Since then, it's become generic. Become a lot more acceptable, a lot cheaper.
Okay.
So you don't hear so much about side effects now. When Merck held the patent, there were side effects. I mean, people are screaming about Finasteride day in, day out. Now I think it's probably died down a bit.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I think there is a remedy out there.
100%.
Like a combination of something, whether you rub it or consume it, I think it exists. It's just a matter of time of us experimenting and figuring it out. So, I mean, hopefully you're the one that discovers it. It'd be very
wonderful in many ways. But I think the way we look at science is we learn something new every year. So I think a few years ago, there was this logic of a product which blocks DHT attaching to the hair follicle. What a great concept. Lab studies were phenomenal, but then in reality, didn't work as well. And then there was the study which showed dextrose, topical dextrose, really helps hair. And then
is that just like sugar?
Sugar, yeah. Exactly. And then there was a study which showed hair follicles have smell receptors. So things like rosemary oil, sandalwood, caffeine, the smell of coffee helps a little bit. So you're right. In some ways, let's say we add all this information together.
Yeah.
And one product, and I think one and done. I'm pretty sure started 16, 17. Maybe a couple of sprays every night. You forget about your hair loss forever.
I'm sure there's some tribes in the Amazon or whatever, indigenous ones, that they all have full head of hair.
Yeah.
So they're doing something.
So I was traveling around Peru, and nobody's lost hair there. Then I started talking to them. They chew on that saw palmetto.
Okay.
And I'm convinced that's probably one of the reasons why Propecia became a bit more acceptable. So they chew on, I think, from a young age, they chew on saw palmetto. So none of them have lost hair. And besides the water, it's very soft over there.
Yeah.
And sun.
Yeah.
And probably better organic food. And I suppose, like anything in life, isn't it? I think the simpler you keep it, the easier it is. The more complexity you add to life, the more stresses.
Yeah.
I'm sure the acid-free radicals don't help.
Yeah. Awesome. Where can people find you if they want to learn more or maybe book in a consultation?
So we are based at 107 Harley Street. The website is restorehairclinics.com. The other site is drraghureddy.com. So
you can see all the transformations there.
Exactly.
That's what sold me.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that, and hopefully a lot of people listening get some sort of benefit from it.
Pleasure. Absolute pleasure.